OnePlus has a new high-end phone, the OnePlus 13R. It isn't a full-on flagship, more of a flagship killer. Is it worth getting? I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's find out in our OnePlus 13R review. The OnePlus 13R is a less expensive alternative to the flagship OnePlus 13, but it still packs plenty of nice features. These include a high-end chipset, a large battery, and an OLED display with all the bells and whistles. Also, this time around you have a telephoto zoom camera, which wasn't the case on the previous model. The new OnePluses adopt a new design. Rather than a curved front and back, now you get a flat and angular look. The back is made of glass, though it has a textured metallic feel, and the frame is made of aluminum. The sharp edges lend a bit of grip. A signature feature of the OnePlus phones is the alert slider on the side. And there's IP65 rated ingress protection now, compared to IP64 on the OnePlus 12R. The display of the OnePlus 13R is a 6.78-inch LTPO OLED, with a 120Hz refresh rate, Gorilla Glass Victus 7 eye protection, and a high resolution. And not only is this panel plenty sharp, it also has support for 10-bit color depth, and the HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision video standards. As far as brightness goes, we measured a maximum of over 800 nits with the manual slider, and in auto mode it boosted to over 1200 nits. That's as high as the OnePlus 13, but not as high as some other flagships these days. Still, thanks to the latest LTPO tech, the display's refresh rate is extra adaptive. It gives you 120Hz to smooth out things like swiping and scrolling, and this can dial down to as low as 1Hz when idling to save energy. For audio, the 13R has a pair of stereo speakers. They're quite loud, earning a score of excellent in our loudness test. When it comes to quality, there's plenty of bass, but the vocals and highs start to ring at high volumes.
I'm wide awake, but you're a nightmare.
For biometrics, there's an under-display optical fingerprint reader. It's quite responsive, but the placement would be more comfy to use if it were higher up. You can get the OnePlus 13R with 256 gigs of storage on board, or even 512 gigs depending on the market, and that isn't expandable to microSD. The interface of the new OnePlus phones is Oxygen OS 15 on top of Android 15. The experience is nearly identical to what you'd get on an Oppo or Realme phone, since these share the same manufacturer. But the OnePlus version does bring a brand-specific font, and some red accents here and there. This year you get an expanded suite of AI-based features too, largely shared between the brands. You can find many of them in the smart sidebar. They're context-sensitive though, and show up if the scenario would call for it. AI Summary can condense a text into key points, AI Speak will read a text out loud, and AI Writer can try and write text for you. You get Google's Circle to Search built in, as well as the Google Gemini AI Assistant. And there are plenty of AI-based editing tools within the gallery as well, like the AI Eraser. For software support, the OnePlus 13R is supposed to get 4 years of major OS updates and 6 years of security patches. It's also worth mentioning that there's an IR blaster, so you can use the phone to control appliances with. Unlike a current flagship, the OnePlus 13R comes with last year's top Qualcomm chipset, a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. The performance level it provides is well known. You basically get as much power here as your typical 2024 Android flagship. In fact, the benchmark scores are even a bit on the higher side for this group. There's plenty of power here for multitasking, gaming, and a smooth user experience. And as far as thermal management goes, we did observe some throttling during our prolonged stress test, but the sustained performance was still decent. The OnePlus 13R comes with a larger battery capacity this time around. It's 6,000 mAh compared to 5,500 on the 12R. With it, the phone earned an active use score of 15 hours and 9 minutes. An excellent score, which is just a little bit higher than what the OnePlus 12R achieved. The OnePlus 13R supports 80-watt charging, but the charger is only included in certain markets. The charging is decently speedy, with the phone going from 0 to 73% in half an hour and achieving a full charge in 48 minutes. But it's slower than its predecessor, which could charge to full in just 25 minutes. There is no wireless charging capability on the OnePlus 13R though, which you do find on many rivals. The OnePlus 13R comes with an upgraded camera setup. There's a 2x zoom camera, replacing the macro camera of the previous model. So overall, you get a 50 megapixel main cam with a Sony Litia 700 sensor. a 50 megapixel 2x telephoto cam, which lacks OIS, and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera. The main camera produces nice photos during the day. They have plenty of detail, look sharp, and have wide dynamic range. The contrast is good, and the colors are likable. Shooting indoors, occasionally the phone will over-sharpen details, possibly due to an HDR algorithm glitch. Photos of people, however, come out very nice, regardless of whether you use the portrait mode or not. There's an automatic night mode which kicks in low light conditions. These shots from the main cam look pretty solid. Aside from the yellowish tinge, they're clean and detailed, and offer a wide dynamic range. Micro contrast also seems to be dialed up, resulting in a slightly grittier look. The 2x zoom camera's processing is nearly identical to the main cam's, with great image quality and wide dynamic range. The 2x images are surprisingly good, with even better sharpness and resolve detail. The camera remains consistently good indoors too. Photos of people come out great as well. At night, the 2x zoom shots again look great. The 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera does not excel in image quality. The photos are not very sharp overall, and the dynamic range is just okay. On the positive side, the color saturation seems to be good. At night, the ultra-wide's photos are surprisingly good in dynamic range. It's proof that a high-end ISP can help a lot, even with poor camera hardware. These low-light photos may not be perfect, but they're far better than what we expected from an 8 megapixel ultra-wide. Selfies come from a 16 megapixel front-facing camera. They're likable, with punchy colors, wide dynamic range, and nice contrast. However, they seem a bit on the soft side. The OnePlus 13R can record video in 4K with its main and telephoto cameras. The ultra-wide and selfie cams are limited to 1080p. 4K videos from the main cam are sharp enough and have plenty of detail and good dynamic range. The colors could be more vibrant though. The 2x zoom videos are slightly more colorful, but the sharpness is unimpressive and there's some noise as well. The ultra-wide camera's videos come out soft and washed out looking. At night, the main cam's 4K videos are clean and relatively sharp, with wide dynamic range and low noise. The colors and contrast could be better though. So there you have it, the OnePlus 13R. It's a powerful phone for the price, with great battery life and some solid performance from the cameras. Though we wish it had better ultra-wide and selfie cameras, and wireless charging support would be nice too. But if you're willing to make compromises when it comes to those, the OnePlus 13R is definitely worth checking out. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're looking for alternatives, you can check out our reviews of the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE and the Xiaomi 14T Pro. Let us know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.